Hello, welcome back. It's a Sunday today. Happy Sunday. Cup of Joe with Coach Joe. Today, mixed it up a little bit. Went Hado Molacha. It's an Ethiopian dried pineapple, lilac, cotton candy grapes. It's a medium roast. I'm still dialing it in, but I feel like I'm close. We had a very strange draw when I was pouring this morning, but we're getting there. Hope everyone's had an awesome weekend. We got an awesome week of programming coming up. Got some fun strength stuff that we're going to be incorporating. Those of you guys don't know, we started a new strength cycle last week, so good time to jump onto that. Want to talk a little about some stuff upcoming this week. So, semifinals for age group workouts are being announced on Wednesday. So we have 5 semifinalists: Andrea, Sandra, Mondo, Rich, Kim. I'm going to call them the Fab Five now that I think about it. That's what we're going to go with. We're going to call them the Fab Five. So we got the Fabulous Five competing. So people had asked me about if we're going to do anything for the workouts. It's kind of like leading into quarterfinals. Once I know what the workouts are, I'm going to send a message out to them. And ideally what I'd like to do is coordinate a day, maybe Friday, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, I don't know. But coordinate a day to where at least maybe 1 or 2 of the workouts, I can get all of them together. And then I can let the community know, like, hey, they're going to be throwing down 11 o'clock on Saturday. Let's bring the juice, get everyone in, cheering them on, all that kind of good stuff. But once I know what the workout is, or workouts, and what they're comfortable with and what they would like to do, then we can formulate that. So that tentatively is my plan. I definitely want to do something, right? But until we know what the workouts are, it's kind of like, it's hard to figure out exactly what I want to do with that. So by Wednesday at noon, I'll know what the workouts are. Then I'm going to touch base with them, make sure it's something all of them are comfortable with, and they're all working professionals. I guess except for Andrea, because she recently retired. Congratulations again. So I think Saturday would probably potentially be the best, but we'll get it dialed. So that is age group semifinals. Now, we also have coming up semifinals at the end of the month, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I believe 24, 25, 26. It's that Memorial Weekend, Carson, California. That'll be the West Coast Classic semifinal. So I'm going to start trying to coordinate with people, figuring out what day everyone's going. I'm going to try and figure out what day maybe I want to go, obviously. So try and coordinate with myself and the other coaches, figure out who's going where. Maybe we can do a meetup afterwards for the people that go on Saturday, and then maybe we can do the same thing if people want to go on Sunday. Or maybe I'll just kind of coordinate what I wind up doing based on what the bulk of people are doing. But if you guys have never been to Carson, California, formerly the StubHub Home Depot, I don't know what it's called now, Center, that's where the CrossFit Games was before it moved to Madison. And now it has moved to Texas. So great venue, should be a lot of fun. The tennis stadium's a really cool atmosphere to watch an event, and it's outside. There's also the soccer stadium. That's where the Galaxy play. And the Chargers played for a little bit before they opened SoFi. So really cool venue, and I think we can find a cool spot to like kind of maybe meet up afterwards, brewery or something like that. So stay tuned for news on that. That is, so we got age group semifinal workouts get released on Wednesday at noon, and then we got semifinals, individuals and teams, I guess. That'll be on the, I believe, 24, 25, 26, whatever that Memorial Weekend is. Kind of segue into that. Obviously, Memorial, we got Murph coming up, got some exciting things planned. We still have that sign-up sheet for the Murph shirt. I'm double checking confirmation, but I should know by tomorrow afternoon. I'll probably pull the sheets Wednesday or Thursday. I want to give you guys the most amount of time to sign up if you would like, but I want to get them printed and tagged and signed up. Make sure first name, last name, all that good stuff, and what style shirt you want. Or we have those 2 women's tank tops. There's like thin, it's called a racerback, and then the muscle tank. So that's our Murph shirt. We talked about the programming. Also along semifinals, I'm going to start incorporating some of the semifinal workouts, because I always think that's fun as we lead into it, because now it's like, it's one thing that's very, very cool about the sport of fitness, the sport of CrossFit, is that we can do the same-ish workout. Like on Tuesday, we're going to do what I think is event 5. And it's an old regional event where it's 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 snatches. And we're going to do some strength beforehand. It fit really nicely with what was programmed for the block strength synergy. And it worked out. And then it's kind of fun because now you've done the workout and now you get to see, what the semifinal athletes can do in that workout, right? And we can kind of have that shared experience, which is a lot of fun. But I want to start incorporating some of the team ones and then some of the other individual ones. Some of them don't always work, but usually there's 1 or 2 that I can for sure get in. So that's kind of our programming. That's kind of our week in preview. As far as that goes, a lot of good stuff coming up. A lot of exciting review. We had an awesome time. Cinco de Mayo. Thanks, guys. Had a lot of fun there. Thanks for everyone that turned out. That was a good time. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I got some more questions after we had talked about the weight vest. I got some questions about other stuff, right? So, jump ropes and flimity flams, right? Super suits. So I think with Murph coming up, I thought it was poignant to talk about some knee sleeves and some grips. So those are the 2 things I'm going to talk about. So with the knee sleeves, I have used a brand called Element 26, and I really like their knee sleeves. Rogue makes a really good knee sleeve. There's a brand called Reband. That's probably the most famous of the knee sleeves. The one thing with Reband is you got to remember is they're sold as 1. So when it's $44, it's for 1, right? So those are like $80 for the pair. The Rogue ones are usually like $44 for a pair. Element 26 is about the same. You'll also see what's considered a 5 mil or a 7 mil. A 7 mil it's the thickness of the knee sleeve. That is what would be commonly used in a powerlifting modality. It's a heavy knee sleeve. So if someone were to tell me like, oh yeah, I only wear these when I squat heavy, right? And they squat heavy a lot, then yeah, that's fine. But for the common like kind of CrossFitter use of maybe they would wear them in a Metcon and maybe they're taking them on and off, or they're having to do other things with knee sleeves on. Like the other day, my right patella was bugging me, so it hurt if we were doing lunges the other day and it hurt if I hit, right? It wasn't like the range of motion, it was actually the touching. So I wore my knee sleeves, but because they're a 5 mil knee sleeve, I could run and lunge and do burpees, where that 7 mil knee sleeve, holy majoli, that thing is tight. So that's kind of the difference. It's just a thicker knee sleeve, just creating a little more support, where the 5 mil is more of that classic kind of, CrossFit knee sleeve. The other benefit to knee sleeves is you'll see most people use them, including myself, as rope protection. So, meaning that when I'm doing rope climbs, I just pull my knee sleeve on and just let it sit kind of on my ankle, Hey, Bear, can you do me a favor? can you ask Mom to get my grips? They're in the front of my bag. Thank you, baby. She got it. Sorry, I just realized I don't have my grips. So that's my knee sleeves. So yeah, and if you guys have any other questions for me on that, on you know, different types or styles, but that's kind of the most common is, you know, and there are other brands, right? I mean, most of them are all going to be like a neoprene style knee sleeve. The other big one that I wanted to talk about, and kind of really when we talk about Murph, is the grips, right? So same thing, a lot of different brands. A lot of them are very, very similar, right? Bear Complex, Victory are probably your number one and number two. There's a brand called Pixel. There is I'm trying to think of what other kind of random brands. There's, you know, the classic just Rogue ones. There's a lot of different materials. Sometimes you got to try them out. I've had the Bear Complex carbon grips. I've had the Bear Complex Black Diamond grips, which I really like. I've had the traditional Rogue just leather grip. Lately, I've been using the Victory grips, and I like those a lot. I originally had switched because I think Bear Complex was just like out of grips, you know, so I was like, oh, I'll try these Victory ones. The one thing for me, and this is personally, that I liked about the Victory grips is I liked the way they felt on the rings, and the way they felt on the bar. I felt like, for me personally, on the bar, they felt very similar to the Bear Complex, but they felt a little more comfortable on the, she brought me my entire backpack.
Pick a pouch, any pouch, guys.
If only they were in the front pouch.
Which pouch? There's like 12 pouches, guys.
There's a lot of pouches. Whatever.
I have got that.
Also, awesome backpack. By the way, these dudes are dope. Buttery Bros edition. I'm blanking on the name of the bag right now. It'll come to me. But just so you guys know too, knee sleeves, Omen 26. That's kind of what I've been rocking. So the other question I always get about grips, and like I said, you know, like ask around, ask other people's opinion, is on sizing, right? So I size up a little bit, and this goes back to years and years ago. I watched a video about getting like the way grips should fit. So a lot of people will just slide them all the way down, right? Which is common. Now, if I'm doing ring muscle ups or something like that, I like having the 3-hole, right? There's 2-hole and then there's no hole. That's all personal preference. A lot of times my fingers aren't really in the holes ever, so there would be the advantage of using one with no holes, is it's not needed. But for me, when I do rings, I like to put my fingers in the hole as I jump up. It's just kind of a personal thing that I like, so that's why I've always gone with the 3-finger. And I like the 3-finger because of the coverage more than the 2-finger ones. But the other question is about sizing. So the reason why you'll see a lot of people size up, so you can see how much bigger that is in my hand, is when you go to jump up. So let's say I'm jumping up on a bar, right? I kind of cup it, and then as I jump up, it folds, right, on top of the bar, right? And kind of creates this kind of thing, okay? So now it's almost created this dowel effect, and now most of the pressure is here. It's actually on my wrist. It's not on my fingertips, right? So there's the advantage of having a little bit larger grip, because technically I'm like a large, right? If I were to measure my hand, but because of the way, and you'll see this, when people jump up, the grip is like flopped over, and it's because they've gotten that extra material to help that lock in, and that takes some time. Now, some people might go, you know what, I don't like the way that feels. I'd rather just slide them all the way on, and that way you get that hand protection. But a lot of times, and you can see it when I put my fingers in it, is that kind of that curve, right, is what's actually happening. Now, that being said, like I said, I've used Bear Complex, I've used Victory, I've used Rogue. I think they're all great grips. One thing that I haven't had a chance to try, and I was actually talking with Coach Rich about this, is Victory just came out with a new grip that they were supposed to come out with a new material called the Apex. And then the new grip, I'm not 100% sure of the name, but you'll know it because the way this one is, it has this piece that comes up on the outside of your arm, but then it doesn't really have that coming up on the outside. So what they did is they brought it out to where now, and it's more padded than this is just like leather. And they brought it out to where it doesn't like cut into your hand. Because what would happen a lot of times is like, if you got it really locked in, this would kind of dig in a little bit. So I'm interested to try those out. Like they just came out. I know Rich has them. I think Ryan Allen has a pair. Marvel maybe has a pair. Coach Marvel. So I'm interested to try those out and just see comfortability. And then they added some like padding on this internal ring. But other than that, I've loved these things. And like I said, I love the Bear Complex ones too. I just felt personally, more comfortable on the rings. So sometimes, and I mean, you know, grips are 40 or 50 bucks. So sometimes, you know, you might just have to bite the bullet and buy a couple. Or, you know, ask around the gym and say, hey man, can I test out your grips? You know, what do you think about the Bear Complex? What do you think about those Victory ones? What do you think about the Pixel ones? What do you what do you think about the 3-hole, the 2-hole, the no-hole? You know, and a lot of that stuff is honestly, you know, like I said, it's just personal preference. Like Coach Brian has always used the Bear Complex ones, loves them. Rich just got those new Victory ones. He got them no holes. I prefer the 3-hole. Like it's just, you know, pick your poison. So, but yeah, as always, like, comment, subscribe, guys. Send me any questions. Put them in there. I think next week I'm gonna double check some stuff, but maybe jump ropes. We'll go kind of deep dive on some jump ropes. But if you have any other questions on this stuff, let me know, and let's get after it and have an awesome week. And yeah, stay tuned on semifinals, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Deuce.